Quick video here. It's Friday night. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. And with that Merry Christmas, I know the weather didn't really treat us great in terms of making it feel a lot like Christmas. So it's been rainy. It's been wild. I mean, December's been a disaster. A lot warmer than I expected. A lot warmer than other people expected. Very little snow, if any, for most areas. And really, the discussion is going to be heading into January. Is this pattern going to break? I think that we're going to get colder, but the upper pattern is still not going to be conductive for that significant East Coast classic snowstorm, and there's no hints of that yet. So we got to wait, and we got to hope, if you like snow, that this thing can turn around. It should turn around from everything I look at. You look at analoging from when things have looked similar in the past. You look at the future projections of models, and there could be a turnaround here. But we're not running out of time for winter, but we're running out of time. If you want to get that great winter, well, by mid-January, things really have to turn around here, and I just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not writing off the winter yet, but it's hard to say, hey, there's no reason to panic a little bit, because right now you just walk outside and you just don't feel anything in terms of winter-like temperatures or weather. So let's take a look at what the slim chance of some snow, which is this little wave that's going to develop along this front, coming in on early this week. And you can see the GFS. Everything pretty much has it pretty suppressed to the south. If you look at what's really going on here, just a little tiny weak piece of garbage disturbance that doesn't really dig much, so it gives us a chance for some precipitation. I'm not writing this off yet. We could get our first couple inches of snow Monday to Tuesday, but it's nothing to write home about. So we'll keep an eye on that. Most of the models again look like this new run on the GFS. Let's now turn our attention to the overall weather pattern, because that's more important right now. Right now we're just going to be looking at the jet stream here. Okay, and notice there's a couple positives. I mean, I keep talking about this. This big ridge over Alaska drives down the polar air, and you can tell by the time we get to the end of this week, you can see the polar vortex sitting right here, which again is going to drive colder air into the region for the new year. So that there is going to be cold air. But what we don't have here, guys, is a little block over Greenland. So we don't have red moving into Greenland. When you have the red moving into Greenland, what that does is it prevents this southeast ridge from really popping up. And right now, as we head into, say, Saturday, you can see that southeast ridge comes back. And oftentimes, that's not the end of the world. I mean, it can set up a boundary between warm and cold air, similar to what might happen early this week. And, you get something to spin up along that boundary, you get a storm. But it's not going to give you that classic storm. You can see here this little disturbance down here for Saturday. If I go to the if I go to the surface here from the GFS, you can see that actually is another storm system that's projected to develop, but might cut into the lakes. And again, that's a very believable scenario because there's no negative NAO. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see what happens next week. But again, when is this pattern going to turn around? That's the big question. And as we head into the first week of January, again, this is definitely not a blowtorch. But it's not something that is getting me too excited for big East Coast storms. So keep checking in, guys. That's all I got today. I keep looking at this pattern. Most of the nation gets cold, but again, the only shot at snow we have in the foreseeable future is, again, storms to form along the boundary between warm and cold air, which, again, could be the Mid-Atlantic early next week and maybe even heading into the new year. But don't expect that big classic Paul Cosin-style storm probably till at least the second week of January, if not later. More tomorrow.